The Bengals shocked the NFL world when they signed Orlando Brown Jr. last month to a 4-year, $64 million contract. And yes, the Bengals' star left tackle is a four-time Pro Bowler, but some NFL executives aren't sold. What they had to say about the signing, plus my reaction. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching it. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to get all of our videos, including Tuesday night's Bengals on the Brain with Joe Goodberry right here on CBT. The NFL draft, well, just 23 days away. We did an NFL draft primer with less than 4 weeks to go on Monday, so make sure you check that out as well. And let's dive in, because the Orlando Brown Jr. signing is one of the biggest signings in Bengals history. It just is. And it could go down as the biggest free agent signing, depending on what it results in and how it helps Joe Burrow and how it helps this offense. But not everyone's sold. And I want to read some of these quotes because the Athletic's Mike Sando every single year talks with NFL executives. And it does this essentially breakdown of, and he does this with quarterbacks, and he's doing it now post free agency. And he released an article on Tuesday. How did NFL teams' free agency moves stack up? Executives react to moves from all 32 teams. It's really cool, right? I want to read you some of these quotes, and then after that, react to them. And I'm just going to read a few of them here. One, to me, it shows the effort of Cincinnati being willing to invest dollars in protecting their quarterback. And I'm good with them doing that. At the same time, I'm hoping they've done their research, just from the standpoint that there's a reason he is on his third team in 4 seasons. Another executive. Problem is, I think Brown is a right tackle. I think he played his best football in Baltimore's system because he was protected. In terms of being a true blue chip left tackle, I don't see it. But he could look better in Cincinnati because Burrow gets the ball out faster than Mahomes. So those two quotes. Let's start here. 4 years, $64 million. I said it at the top. And I think that is a very important part of this when discussing Orlando Brown Jr. The Bengals didn't pay him to be a blue chip left tackle. Now, you may think he is, and you see those 4 Pro Bowls, and he is a Super Bowl winning left tackle and all of those things, and he's going to play left tackle for the Bengals. But let's be honest here. The money part of this is huge. The reason we didn't mention Orlando Brown Jr. as a realistic possibility on this show, on this channel, is because he was projected to get 5 years, $120 million. He was projected to break the bank in free agency at the left tackle spot. And so if that was the case, no, I don't think the Bengals would have been in on him. But the NFL told you, a lot of these teams told you how they felt about Orlando Brown Jr. He was adamant about playing left tackle. He's made that known. And so whether it's the Ravens, who they had a star left tackle, which is why they traded Orlando Brown Jr., the Chiefs, who I think it's really interesting because they go out and they get a right tackle and they're moving him to left tackle. Will that work? I don't know. We could debate that all day long. But for the Bengals, the reason they were able to get in and stay in and ultimately land Orlando Brown Jr. is because they said, man, you're our left tackle. We don't care what these other teams think. We don't care what these other teams have said. We know you. We've watched you. You're our franchise left tackle. It's part of why they got in the door. It's part of why they were able to land him. So that part doesn't really surprise me much. And I don't really have much to say about it, other than I still think Orlando Brown Jr. is a significant upgrade over what the Bengals have had over the past 6 years. Right? I mean, you lose Andrew Whitworth in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22. Bad to average. Jonah Williams has been average at times, sometimes above average. But there's a lot of question marks there, certainly more than there are about Orlando Brown Jr. The other part of this, and one more quote. They are more of a gap duo in their running game now, which is interesting. They've transferred from the wide zone and moved to more of a gap scheme after being more of a wide zone team. So he fits them more. It doesn't really bother me or bother Burrow when the tackle loses the edge. He can avoid that. It's when the tackle gets collapsed back into him and there's no way to escape. Orlando Brown can cover his guy up. And that didn't happen with Jonah. right? How many times did Jonah get pushed back, especially when he was hurt last year? So my reaction to these quotes, yeah, the NFL kind of told us that they didn't necessarily view Orlando Brown Jr. as a star right tackle. His contract dictates that. But the Bengals look at him and say, this is an instant upgrade. And not just an instant upgrade, it's a better option than anyone they could realistically land, period. In free agency, in the draft at 28, you're not finding an Orlando Brown Jr. left tackle. That's not happening. For example, let's use DeJuan Jones from Ohio State. I think best case scenario, he's Orlando Brown Jr. on the right side. Anton Harrison, maybe he develops into it as a franchise left tackle. I don't think he would be that as a rookie. So to me, this was still a home run signing. These quotes don't really change anything. And we kind of knew it already. So I kind of shrug him off. Okay, that sounds good. But if he can do just a little bit more than Jonah did in 2021, that's going to make a huge difference for Cordell Volson and ultimately Joe Burrow. I think it was a home run signing, great value signing, doesn't change a thing. So when you see stuff like this, I don't really think it's jealousy. I think it is honesty. Just looking at these quotes, I think they're pretty fair. Orlando Brown Jr. isn't perfect, but he's a big, physical, huge mammoth of a left tackle, and I think he's going to be just fine in stripes. So if you see it, don't get mad, smile, and say we'll see you in September. And speaking of September, can't wait for that. But in the meantime, we have draft coverage to get back to. So make sure you tune into Bengals on the Brain Tuesday night. That's tonight, if you're watching on Tuesday, with Joe Goodberry. He's going to break down Terrell Basham, the Bengals' newest defensive lineman. And then he's also going to look at Irv Smith Jr. So should be pretty interesting there. Also, plenty of draft coverage, like I said, coming your way. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and smile. Orlando Brown Jr. was a great signing. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.